So in this problem, we need to determine how many lead pellets were added to this beaker of water, so that it goes from 25 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius when it starts at 10 degrees Celsius. So the couple things you need to do is first you need to find the mass of the water, find the amount of heat that was gained by the water, and then we can use that to work backwards to use our statement of calorimetry, and then figure out how much mass was added total, and then we can convert that to the number of pellets. So the first thing we need to do is find the mass of water. We're going to use the density formula. So mass equals rho times volume. So we have, again, remember, the density of water is 1,000 unless otherwise stated. And then we're given that there's 500 milliliters of water. If you convert that to cubic meters, you end up with 5 times 10 to the -4th. That's just a simple conversion factor. And so that tells us that we have half a kilogram of water. Now we're going to find the heat that was added to the water. Now we're going to use our MCAT formula, so MC delta T. So we have that half a kilogram. It gives you the specific heat of water is 4.186. And then also the temperature change. So we're at 298 Kelvin and we start at 283. And again, you don't have to convert these because of the change in temperature, right? These are not absolute temperatures. This formula uses a change in. And remember, a degree change in Kelvin is a degree change in Celsius. So that tells us that we have 31.4 kilojoules that were added. You can keep this in kilojoules because the number here, the unit was kilojoules per kilogram Kelvin. So you can just leave that as such because the 0.5 was in kilograms. If we convert this to Kelvin, or you can just say that this is degrees Celsius instead of Kelvin. So there's all kinds of things you can do with that unit. Now that we have this, now we can use our statement of calorimetry, and that states that the heat lost by the lead was the heat gained by the water. That's the big statement of calorimetry, that the heat lost by one substance is the heat gained by the other. Okay, so now, just trying to move around a little bit. So now we can just simply solve and say that the heat lost by the lead, right, was negative 31.4 kilojoules. Okay, in fact, we don't even need the negative sign. All right. So now we're going to set this negative 31.4 equal to our MCAT, and we're going to solve for M. So the mass is going to be negative 31.4 divided by C delta T. So we have negative 31.4 divided by the C of lead, which is 0.128. And then we have that it started at 350 and it ends at 25. So 298 minus 350. And this would be another reason why you may want to convert the temperatures, because this temperature was initially given in Kelvin. And so that's going to give us a mass of 4.72 kilograms, which is 4,720 grams. Right? But the question is not asking us for the mass of the lead. It was asking how many pellets were added. But they do tell us that one pellet is 1 gram. So if I have 4,720 grams, how many pellets do I have? Well, I have 4,720 pellets. And so here is your answer. It's 4,720 pellets were added to the 500 milliliters of water to change the temperature from 10 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius.